the weekend movies. Time to take a look at what's brand new. And our man, Willie Waffle, standing by right now. Willie, good morning.
Well, good morning to you, too.
So tell me, if you would, this movie, by the way, are you hearing anything big on this movie about Queen? And I believe it's called Bohemian Rhapsody. It comes out in November. They're
going to try to make this a big Oscar contender. They think that Malik, the guy who's playing Freddie Mercury, could get an Oscar nomination for Best Actor. They are going all in on this thing.
I'm excited. I think I want to see this movie.
So it's about a band, about the band, his life, or an album.
I believe it's about. It's the story of Freddie Mercury, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's really the story of Freddie Mercury, but you can't tell the story of Freddie Mercury without really telling the story of Queen.
Right.
So, his life and getting involved in the band and how they skyrocketed to this amazing legendary status and what was going on behind the scenes and the way he had to hide a lot of his life because of the times that we lived in at that point.
And he's gay.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And led quite the alternative lifestyle, right? I mean, behind the scenes. But and I guess that is probably going to come out in the movie. But it is also interesting how he is believed to have been. I guess he was a musical, especially classical music, a musical genius.
Oh, yeah. I mean, extremely talented. I mean, I think a lot of people knew him as the singer, but, he was an arranger. He played piano. I mean, he really, brought a lot of heart and soul to Queen and really helped define their sound, I think, in ways that people don't understand.
And some of that was getting pressure from the record executives saying, "Now you can't put classical music in there. That's just not going to fit." And he pushed it and said it will, and it did. And it looks like it's going to be a really interesting movie. Now, A Star is Born. I have one more question before you tell us about that. For some reason, when I was a kid, I liked this movie. I don't know why. And I actually liked the soundtrack. Have no idea why. But this soundtrack is completely different than the original soundtrack, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, these are all new songs. You got Lady Gaga singing, Bradley Cooper singing. Yeah, and then they had to modernize it. I mean, they had to do something a little bit different. And this one feels like a modern-day story as opposed to the story that we heard in 76.
How do you do the thing without Love, Soft as an Easy Chair? It's not even in there. I mean, how do you do that?
Bring it back. Bring it back.
I mean, it's nowhere to be found. All right, what do you think of this new version of A Star is Born?
I think you've got a pretty good movie. I don't know if it's an amazing movie. Bradley Cooper as the aging country music legend whose career is kind of on the downfall. His life is falling apart. He's a horrible alcoholic. He's alienating everybody. And then he meets Lady Gaga, and he falls madly in love with her. And she's a talented young singer on her way up, and he starts to help her career. But we have to wonder, how long can the two coexist? And Cooper just puts in one of those amazing performances. He's really fantastic, showing us the pain and the anguish this guy has, showing us also the spark that made him who he was. I mean, I thought that was very brilliant acting on his part. And then you've got Lady Gaga. And it's hard to compare a non-professional actor to a guy who's going to win, who's got an Oscar nomination, okay? I mean, it's like comparing my golf game to Tiger Woods. It's not fair.
Yeah.
I mean, she does okay. She has moments that are very good, and then she has other moments where you feel her acting. I think you could say the same thing about the singing. You hear Bradley Cooper sing, you're like, hey, he's kind of a talented guy. Then Lady Gaga sings, you're like, oh, there's a professional right there. I think each one plays to their strength. I think as a director, Bradley Cooper, with his editor, made a very smart decision to kind of cut a lot of scenes. You get almost an abstract look at this, where you get a little vignette, a little piece of dialogue, a little bit of a moment, instead of getting big, long scenes, because maybe Lady Gaga's not ready to give you big, long monologues, because that's not what she does.
Yeah. All right. That's interesting. What do you give it?
I am going to say 3 waffles. I think you got a pretty big winner here.
Whoa.
And I'm hearing you really loved Venom.
Yeah. Venom was really great. Here's the problem with Venom. Venom is they're selling it hard as one of the Marvel movies, but it's not from like the Marvel guys who made the Avengers and Iron Man. It's from the Marvel guys who made the Fantastic Four, and it shows. I mean, it's just not as good. It's very very standard, very cliche, and this idea that he's been inhabited by this alien parasite that controls his body, and he fights for his soul with this thing. I mean, it's kind of interesting, but they try to make it more darkly comic than that. They try to make Venom all full of sassy attitude, and sometimes that works, but at other times you're like, you're not Deadpool, okay? We get it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say like one waffle. I just don't think there's anything amazing about this thing.
All right. Well, listen, A Star is Born 3, Venom 1. There you go. And you can always go to wafflemovies.com. Willie, as always, thanks so much, and enjoy your week.
Oh, I can't wait. I'll talk to you guys next week.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much.